The market is ripping, stocks are soaring, and this is an absolutely ideal environment for active and swing traders like ourselves. So let's take a look at the market. I'm going to walk you through some of my favorite setup stocks I'm buying right now, where I'm getting in, my targets, and how much I'm risking on each. So quickly, we're going to look here at the NASDAQ index. This was the big bear market from February and March over the trade war situation. Once Trump announced to pause those tariffs, we got a big up day. We've grinded higher since. And then today, markets are up between 3 and 4% after the U.S. and China negotiated a temporary trade deal over the weekend. So all this very strong. Now, we've been saying to get long stocks since April the 11th. We recognize that the low is likely in. Whoops. There we go. Right back in here. This is what we always see at the bottom of these vicious bear markets, these big, huge volume up days where we get a 5, 6, in this case, a 12% daily gain. We close at the highs, and it's just a signal that all the market is priced in. And what you need to remember is the stock market is a discounting mechanism. Stocks don't move based on how much money that company made today or yesterday. They move based on what people think they are going to earn, the sales they think they're going to bring in next month, next quarter, next year. That's why the stock market falls 25% just over the threat of tariffs before anything was imposed. It's why it's up big today before the pause even goes into effect. So it is very important to stay in front of this stuff and not do what most investors do, which is wait until the coast is clear to get involved. So we've been pounding the table for the last month that this was the time to get in stocks. Here's the titles of the last few weekly emails I put out. As you see here on April 11th, we called the low is in. This stock's going up. Why I'm bullish. So what I want to do is walk you through some of the stocks I'm buying right now. Let's go through these setups, and you'll see where we are at. So one of them is Skyward. This one may be out of gas. As you can see, I bought this stock right in here because it was putting in a pretty strong breakout pattern. And even though the rest of the market was failing, we had this classic shallowing formation showing the stock is absorbing supply, that we're running out of sellers. The stock is being acquired by these large institutions and likely to run higher. Now, I kind of front ran this thing a little bit, got in here, wrote it out, took half off right about here, sitting up about 13, 14% or so. Not a big moving stock. As an insurance company, it's not a name I'm trying to make 70 or 80% on, but sitting pretty well here. Now, the other stock I've been really liking is HIMS. Unfortunately, I just got out of that trade. Now, this is a stock I bought as a big win, moved really, really quickly, and this pattern is something we look for either coming off the lows or against the highs, because after a stock has made a big move, either down or up, it needs to digest that move. And typically this takes place as the stock kind of forms this shallowing pattern right in here. So I bought HIMS on the breakout, had a big move, sold into strength here and here. Wish I held it, got out of this thing for about a 70% gain in about a week and a half. It's gapped even higher today, but this one I think has played out. It could very well go higher, but when you've got a stock that's doubled in the last 2 weeks, you run a big risk of a pullback, so I'd probably hold off on this one. Now, another, this has been one of my favorite stocks for a while now, is SMR, the company's NuScale Power. In SMR, the ticker stands for Small Modular Reactors. This is a nuclear stock. They primarily build nuclear facilities designed to power these AI data centers. And with the big AI boom experienced the last couple of years, this stock saw mammoth growth. It made a lot of money on the way up here. But then once China unveiled their own version of ChatGPT that required a tenth of the power and a tenth of the resources, the stock came back down. But again, I think it overcorrected. It went from $32 down to about $11 per share. And as you can see, as I've drawn out here, let me turn this, turn these positions and all off to clean up the chart. But you can see it did the exact same thing. It comes in, it forms a deep low here, and then tightens and tightens and tightens. And that is just the stock absorbing the supply. It is sellers coming in, profit taking, buying it back up, a little less profit taking, a little less profit taking. So I'm long from right in here, not up a whole lot yet. It actually pulled back today, so I think this one's still buyable. This is coming out of a nice, clean pattern off the lows here. And if we can get continued strength, I think this stock can get up here to the mid-20s. So SMR, one I'm in. Another I bought recently is Soundhound, S-O-U-N. Now, Soundhound, another AI stock, one we were very bullish on a couple of years ago, and members made over 1,000% on this one, those who got in early. But very similar to the others. When you get a bear market, the stock that's up 800% is going to get pummeled on the downside, and you want to let that happen. You want to get out of the way, let it set up for a new move higher, and here, it's a rinse and repeat with the same exact pattern here. We're selling off, and then notice how these pullbacks get shallower. So it's pulled back 37%, pushes back up. This one is only about 18%. This little pullback here is only just 12%. This final one before the breakout, just about 9%. And then so it pushes out. It's up 21% today. This one has performed beautifully. I'm holding this position. I'm up 13, 14% here from this move. I've got stops below one stop below the low of the day and another below Friday's low. But Soundhound's a good mover. My expectation is to see this stock run here to about the $15 to $16 range, right up here into supply. Okay, so Soundhound looking really strong. And the market's going to close in about an hour here, but it's exactly what we want to see. Big, strong up day, big, high volume. See this volume candle on the bottom, how it's already done 3 times how many shares it normally trades in a day. That's exactly what we want to see. All right, so Soundhound, really nice performer. OKLO, another one. Obviously, additionally in the nuclear space. But again, same kind of shallowing pattern here. You get in on the breakout, which I did here. It's up a little bit. Could pull back after the big day we've had today. So I think buying this in the kind of $25 to $27 range for the start of a new stage 2 rally could pay off very well. Now, the one stock I'm down on here is Coinbase, C-O-I-N. I just bought it kind of poorly. I should have purchased kind of down here when it was consolidating. But starting a breakout, little rejection on Friday, holding up here today, but same exact look here. The stock gets cut by more than 50%, shallows out, puts in a low, and we're looking for this stock to get some legs through 200 and hopefully put about a 40 to 50% move over the next few weeks. All right. A couple others here, and I'll get off this. Mara, M-A-R-A, a Bitcoin mining stock. Now, Bitcoin is one of those assets that trades very, very purely. And I want to pop over here for a second to show you this. So if we look at Bitcoin, this is a stock that moves purely on supply and demand. Okay, there are no earnings. There are no sales numbers. There are no CEOs stepping down. It is just supply and demand. So you remove a lot of those curveballs that we have in typical stocks. And with supply and demand, we can see these patterns very cleanly. And if you look at how it has performed in the past, most of these moves have come out of very similar formations here. So, even all the way back here, how it kind of based out for about a year. Notice that same shallowing pattern right up in here. Breaks out to new highs here at around, 12,500. And then just led to this huge rally from 12,000 to 60,000. Even over in here where it makes these lows, you kind of get some of the same pattern right over in here before this last big breakout. Just kind of draw your line near the highs. And this one wasn't as clean as some of the others, but same kind of idea where we're just tightening, absorbing that supply. Once you do so, the stock is, or the crypto in this case, is then free to run higher. So what we have, and here's a big one, it took place all through 2024. Just this big, long base pattern. It toward the end finally started to shallow up and tighten against the highs, breaks through, and then makes a nice, strong 40, 50% move. Now, where we are today, if we go forward to Bitcoin, is here. And I've got the supply zone marked because that's something we want to be cautious of. And when you look at Bitcoin, you can see it did what these other stocks have done here on the lows, kind of tightened up. This got a little shaky, but came right back up. So we had a little short-term breakout in here. And then, as expected, Bitcoin is pushed up here to about 105,000 where it hit today and is kind of stalling. So I've marked the supply zone. We had a lot of people buy Bitcoin, get caught up in the rally. Oh, 100,000, it's happening, I'm getting in. And everybody who bought Bitcoin in November and December and January has been sitting there underwater, down money for the last 4 months. Well, that's where the supply comes from. Supply is just people wanting to sell the stock. Or yes, I keep saying stock, but Bitcoin's not a stock. So I'm not surprised we kind of stall right here. What I'd like to see is for it to just stall in here for a few days, couple weeks, absorb all the supply, get all the people trying to get out at break even out of the way. Then I think Bitcoin will be free for another big move, which based on the way it historically trades, would be a move up into 130, 140,000. So we're bullish on Bitcoin. I'll show you all that to say. We're bullish on Bitcoin. And so the Bitcoin miners are a great way to play that, because these mining stocks, that's how they make their money. Yet they have farms full of these servers mining Bitcoin. And obviously if it costs them, $50,000 a coin in power and cost to get one, and then they can sell it for 100,000, that's good. They sell it for 150, that's twice as good. So these tend to move in a multiple of what you see in Bitcoin. And got into Mara down in here. I'm repeating the same thing over and over again in here, but you see the same pattern. It carves out a low, tightens up, forms against resistance, breaks out, had a great move here on Friday, about 10%, tacked on a little more today. I am long MARA. And then three others I'll go through really quickly. One is AI. You see that? Very similar, coming off the lows. This is C3.ai, the company that owns ChatGPT. It is a big mover in both directions. Okay, so this was a 200% move. This was a 180% move. It also makes big, quick drops of 40 and 50%. So you don't want to just chase these, but if you can get it forming like it is here, tightening up across the lows, trying to break out, it's not beyond reason that we could see this thing up here in the 30, mid-30s, even $40 range, about a 50% move higher. Okay. Two others, QUBT. This is a little wild one. This is a quantum computing stock. Now, these had their day at the end of 2024, saw just unfathomable moves. In this case, went up 2,200% in 7 weeks. Now, anything that moves that far, that fast, unless they're sitting on the world's largest diamond mine, is going to come back down. So you wanted to come back down. Again, just like the others, it tightens up and shallows and absorbs. And then I bought right in here as it crosses this little short-term momentum, and then the bigger breakout levels up here. So I'm long from here around 790, 795. But you could easily make a case to buy it here as it's breaking through again for a move, at least up into here, but probably up here to the meat of this $17, $18 range as things get hot again. So that could be a big, big, big move. And then finally, I got a position in Tesla. I don't have as much Tesla as I'd like to own. I began buying right in here. I actually had a limit order to add more at 250. It didn't pull back and give me the chance to buy at 250. But I did take a position here around 280. You can see the clean breakout here happened on Friday, added 4%, another 6.5% today. And Tesla, with Musk leaving the White House, refocusing on the company, with the humanoid robots potentially being a game changer, with a potential full self-driving fleet that'll even sell the cars, just send them out there as little robo-taxis. Sky's the limit for this stock, and if we've learned anything in the last 10 years, it's do not bet against Elon Musk. So those are the main positions I'm in right now. I'm always looking for more. I may sell some of these if we get the chance, but these are the big ones. Skyward, kind of run out of steam. SMR, Soundhound, OKLO, Coinbase, Mara Holdings, AI, quantum computing, and Tesla. Hope that helps.